Hey guys, how's it going? I boosted the buffered input stream again. If you carefully followed a video series about my OpenJDK contributions, then you certainly know that I already boosted the buffered input stream transferTo method by offloading the transfer to the actual wrapped input stream. And this is really a performance booster because the original wrapped input stream, for example, might be a file input stream or might be an NIO channel stream which acts upon file. And what happens in both cases is that the operating system is asked to transfer the information from or to the file and does not forward the information to the Java heap. Transferring information between the operating system and the Java heap is always slow. So by not doing that, we gain a lot of performance. So in the last video, I told you that there is one case where we will not do this performance optimization, which is when count minus pos is smaller or equals 0. So what does that mean? So in my latest contribution to OpenJDK, what I did was concentrating on this case. The buffered input stream actually exists to speed up the access to the input stream by pulling not one byte by the other byte, but by blocks of information, which is really useful, for example, when you access a file, because files are stored in large blocks, so we can pull a large block of information into the virtual machine, and then we can access the bytes in the virtual machine as we like. So it's totally normal that your application is wrapping a buffered input stream around any kind of input stream, most typically around a file stream. So it's also totally normal that you started to read from that stream before you call transferTo. One example could be you want to read the first byte or the first few bytes because there is some kind of header information like a magic byte or a file header, and you decide what to do after reading that header information. If you did that, then the pos and the count information are not 0 anymore. So you have some bytes between pos and count. That means some bytes you have read from your wrapped input stream, but have not yet forwarded to any output stream. So in that case, my original contribution did not chime in, which means was still slow. In this latest contribution to OpenJDK, what I wanted to perform is that we simply drain those information from the buffer to the target stream, which is out. And once we did that, I want to call the transferTo method on the wrapped input stream because this is the performance boost. So let's go with that. What am I doing here? First, I removed this check. Instead of that, I'm checking how many bytes are in that buffer but not have been written somewhere to an output buffer. If this is more than 0 bytes, which is the case we're talking about today, then I'm copying all the information from the original wrapped input stream, from the position where I am to the position where I have to end, and put them into a new array. And you might wonder why I'm using that new array to write instead of using the original array. The reason is quite simple. It's safety. And it's safety against two threats. Threat number one. If I would provide the original buffer here, which is a large array filled with lots of information, then the output stream gets information that it must not have. Why is that? As I said, the pos and count information are the pointers inside of this huge array, where this is the left position and that is the right position. But left from this position, there could be information that was already passed to another output stream and must be not given to this output stream, because that output stream might be a bad guy. So he has access here to the full array and could simply read that information while it should not. The second point is, well, that could happen with the other side too. So he could read past count to the end of the array. The second point is, if that bad guy is using this reference with the original buffer to put information into that buffer, a buffer is not read-only. He could poison the information in the buffer. And when throwing an IO exception after that, then this method would skip here. It would skip this information. The calling application would possibly try to repeat the write with a different output stream, now writing poisoned information. And this must not happen. So both are very bad things. So this is why I'm going with a temporary buffer here, created by copy of range. So actually this is a very small buffer, only containing the information between pos and count. So the reader cannot read before pos or past count. And if he would poison the information, then simply the information is thrown away. So the poison is gone. So nothing would happen. And in the last step, I simply tell the buffered input stream that pos is equal to count, which means that both locations are the same. So there is nothing more to read in. So there is nothing more in the buffer that is to be written somewhere. And after that, we do simply our performance optimization, which you already know. So we have now the case that this plays no role anymore. You will always get this performance optimization, even in the case where you used the buffer already. To sum up with this new optimization of OpenJDK 20, your Java programs when using BufferedInputStream transferTo will be faster in case that you have wrapped a hardware optimized stream, and now with the latest one it will chime in all the cases but one. The only case where it does not chime in is if you are using the mark method and have not reset. Why is this still there? Because we cannot find a way how to repeat information from the other original stream. Maybe we find a solution in the future, but for now this should be the solution for at least 2/3 of the cases of buffered input stream uses. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. And as always, stay safe and party on!